Perfect Turd Podcast, episode 60, Lamar.
We have to, of course, acknowledge Black History Month. That means we have to go to the Blaxploitation era. And where do we go? 3 the hard way. This movie, it came out when? I think
74.
It was 74, and it has the heavyweights, Jim Brown, Fred Williamson, and Jim Kelly.
You don't get that anymore in movies. Like, these guys that they just seem like badass dudes, you know, in like real life.
Like you said, that's just who they are.
That's who they are.
Nowadays, you got to do training, blah, 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 all that crap. No. They're already badasses. They didn't have to go to school for it.
Exactly.
So
it seems like they're just playing themselves. I love it.
Well, I mean, you know, it's Jim Brown is a freaking legend in the NFL. So is Fred Williamson, and Jim Kelly. He was in Enter the Dragon.
Right.
And so, yeah, it's like they didn't need to act.
Yeah.
Just give me the lines and I'll deliver them in my badass way, basically.
And I love about, because this is a 70s movie, I love the 70s lingo. I love all that stuff. It's great.
The fashion, the big cars, everything. This is the time when everybody had a revolver. You know?
Yeah.
You just had one. It was standard living in the 70s. You had a revolver gun. Everybody just has one. Yes.
Yeah. Well, should we get into the plot? Because this is a very interesting plot.
It starts off this movie. There's these black people being housed somewhere, and one of them gets away, and he contacts Fred Williams. Oh, not Fred Williams' character. Jim Brown's character. Jimmy, and he has a message for him like, yeah, they're gonna kill all of us. They kill the friend and then take his actual woman, which leads him to get help from his friend, Jagger, played by Fred Williamson, and also his other friend, Mr. Like we said, they're all badasses, and they uncover a plot where this group led by, I love this guy's name, one of the best bad guys name ever, Monroe Feathers, is developing a chemical that they can put in water to only kill black people across the United States of America.
And then at one point in the movie, he said black and brown and tan.
If you got some melanin in you, this is going to take you out.
Right.
So,
and they were going to target the water supplies, starting off in the 3 major cities, I guess, is what it was about. So basically, it's just a plot to stop this from happening. I can't understand how this movie hasn't been remade.
During that era, it was like that whole the premise of all the Blaxploitation movies, most of them, get whitey. Like, it was just basically that. And so that's what I think kind of like, you come into this era, Blaxploitation, get the man, but then in the 80s, all the bad guys are foreign. They're either Russian or German. And then the 90s, then it became Middle Eastern terrorists. Then 2000s, you got back to just normal white guys. So it was a revolving thing. So I think it's just that it's just not at that time or whatever. But I would love to see a remake of this movie.
But yeah, like a remake, but make it really cool. Like, who would you cast in a remake if you were gonna do this?
Oh man, here's the thing. What you said at the beginning.
Yeah,
these guys have to be badasses already.
Yeah, we don't have a lot of that.
I know who I would cast.
Okay.
Michael B. Jordan.
Yeah.
Michael Jai White.
Oh, okay.
And Idris Elba.
That's a really good one. He would be excellent.
Yeah, and I think just going back to the movie, it just has that feeling where it's just a decent just action romp. It doesn't take itself too seriously. I like the character Jagger, Fred Williams, but he's just so cool. Yeah. And we have to get to the part of the film.
I know what you're going to say.
With the 3 women. And this is another reason probably why they wouldn't remake it today. So they get one of the white soldiers.
Yeah.
And they have to get information from him. And Mr., he can't do it.
Yeah.
So Jagger has these lovely 3 women who ride in on red, white, and blue motorcycles, which I just love because I was like, I thought that was them or something, but, you know, because of the plot and everything.
Yeah, I thought the same thing.
But they ride in, and he's just like, yeah, I know these women. They have names. Empress, Princess, and the Countess. They're basically going to go torture this dude.
Yeah.
But first, they get topless.
Yeah, they just get topless.
You don't see the torture that they do, but then they just come out, run it out topless.
Sweaty.
Okay, sweaty.
They're all sweaty.
They go upstairs, and the dude is like in the fetal position, whatever they did, and he just starts spilling information. That was like one of those parts in the movie where you're like, that was not necessary, but I love it. Yeah. It came out of nowhere,
and it was ambiguous, like what he was gonna pay them with, because they're like, we need our pay and we don't want to wait for it, and it was like, I was like, well, does he pay him with money or is he paying with the D? I couldn't,
because what she was like, look, we just need to talk to him afterwards. You can get what you want,
right?
And it's kind of like what you said. It's like, what are they going to get from him? Craziness. I love that part.
I thought it was great too.
And actually, like, even like the action was very well done, and I think a lot of them did like their own stunts in this movie.
A lot of stunts, and one thing I noticed about 70s movies in general, anytime there's any kind of a car fight, someone's gonna jump. The good guy's gonna jump off the car, and the car is just gonna hit into something and explode.
There is a scene where the car blows up as it's in midair, falling down, and I was like, I guess that happened some way. It just
he hit a small pile of bricks and it blew up.
And it blew up. It blew up in the front of the car too. Well, I guess that's the engine, but like in the passenger section. So
another great thing is the bad guys in this movie are basically the precursor to stormtroopers, because they can't hit shit. They shoot at everything and they hit nothing.
Oh man, I think maybe they got them from Star Wars. They were like, hey, things didn't go too well, so we can hire you for this white supremacist group.
Yeah.
Can you shoot a gun? Not really. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Just, whatever. Like,
what about rating it?
Rating it, I give this a 5. This is way better than I thought it was. I was already hooked with the premise, but from everything from like the action, the three guy, I like that they're just badass off the rip. They all have different things as well. The scene with the women that came out of nowhere, that's hilarious.
Yeah,
to
that
me.
was great.
I would recommend this one. Just be like, if you want to see some good blaxploitation, watch this movie, because it hits all the notes of a good blaxploitation.
I'm almost there too. Like everything you said, those guys were badass. You had the cool scene, the funny scene with the women, good action, good plot. It's like it's got that dated thing with the music and the sound, some weird sound and stuff. So 4 out of 5 for me. This is common in 70s movies where they're walking out in the street somewhere, but you can hear the dialogue that it's done in a room somewhere. It just has a weird thing where it doesn't match up.
They were so good of friends, they had telekinesis.
Yeah, that's what
that's what it is. It's telekinesis. We don't want anybody to hear what we're talking about.
Yeah,
so
it comes across like that for some reason. I get it. It's just because it's old and stuff, and that's what they had available to them. But so 4 out of 5 for me. But yeah, I love this. I would want to see this remade.
This movie has a lot of other facts to it. Like, it was directed by Gordon Parks Jr., who is the son of Gordon Parks, who directed Shaft. Mm-hmm. And then he also directed another movie called Superfly, which is a staple of like blaxploitation movies. And the villain Feathers, Monroe Feathers, was the basis, I would presume, for the movie Undercover Brother, because the bad guy from that is Mr. Feathers.
Oh,
so
okay. Yeah.
It's a lot of things that they kind of brought to the forefront later on. But yeah, there's a lot of things behind that movie. But yeah, it's a good, solid action movie. You don't have those anymore. Like, it's just these guys just whoop ass as a hobby.
In the old days, they would say these are men's men.
Man's men. Yeah, manly men.
Yeah, manly men. Yeah, that's what it is.
And I think, and you're right, like, you miss that, because it's like, movies are about escapism.
Yeah. So
you want to see like that type of guy win and everything. And they all have like their own charm and everything like that. So yeah, good blaxploitation movie for February. So Yep.
Cool. All right then. Well, 3 the hard way. Peace.
Deuces.